Scary, scary magic. Meanwhile, the bandits that had fled from the League mages stopped running when the sun set on the horizon. They made camp and discussed what had to be done about the magic. Most were overcome by fear, but the hardiest bandit, while sharpening his knife, said, "Magic is back. We all know what happened the last time magic was unleashed." Another replied, "What in the world is that supposed to mean?" "It means there's a war fought over magic," argued the hardiest bandit. He stood up and looked to the east. "Aren't you tired of having to do this? Aren't you tired of being an afterthought? I used to work at a lumber mill before I started hassling people. Then comes along this imbued axe that could chop through an entire tree in a single strike. How could I compete with that?" Business dried up. Had nothing left, but I had to eat somehow, and now we're here. Another bandit said, "I see where he's going with this." The hardiest bandit continued, "See, all we have to do is let some powerful people know that magic is back, and it's here to destroy. Then we can all get what we want." The bandits spent that night sharing stories of how magic ruined their lives, whooping and hollering and planning a devilish plan. They decided to head east to a large city to alert the leadership there of what they had encountered. As the bandits entered the large city, guards caught wind of their appearance. It turned out there was a bounty on their heads here, and no guard could pass up that opportunity. A horn was blown by a guard, and quickly the streets were flooded by reinforcements. The guards surrounded the thugs. The bandits had their weapons drawn and formed a circle, all but one. The hardiest bandit fell to his knees and surrendered. The other bandits were put off by this. Through his grin, he told the other bandits to surrender, and one by one they followed suit, dropping their weapons to the group. The guards restrained each and brought them to the ruler of the kingdom, as he had some questions for these thugs. The doors of the palace were slammed open, and an audible thud was heard around the empty castle, and the king sitting in his throne yelled out, "What is this all about?" One of the guards ran up to his majesty and whispered in his ear. "I see," muttered the king. "All right, what do you all have to say for yourselves?" asked the king. The hardiest bandit stood up and yelled, "Well, I ain't sorry for what I did. I had to." "Then why come here and surrender?" the king questioned. "We came here as soon as we saw the fire," the bandit replied. "What fire?" the king demanded. "The fire that came from their hands. It was magic unlike anything I've ever seen. So we came as fast as we could to let the world know that those mages that returned, they're not here to help us. They've come back for some reason," responded one of the thugs. The king, in disbelief, asked, "What mages? Where were they? I need to see this with my own eye." Your royalty, haven't you seen the towers or heard the people talking?" uttered a guard, scared to speak out of turn. "What was that, son?" demanded the king. The tower. Slam! The doors were kicked open by a messenger. Out of breath, he held himself up by his knees. "What? What is it? Speak!" the king demanded. Your Highness, there's a fire." "Guards, go put this fire out at once," so ordered the king. "See, I told you. I bet that was those mages. They probably followed us to finish the job," uttered the hardiest bandit. When the king arrived at the burn site, he asked around, and someone yelled out that they saw who did it. The king walked over to that person and yelled out, "What? You need to speak up!" The stranger said, "I saw what? What? You need to speak up. I can't hear you." The stranger repeated, "I saw what? What?" Now yelling at this point, the stranger repeated, "I saw who did this. The fire came from their hands." The king returned to his throne, and the bandits were set free. "Please tell me all you know about these mages," said the king to the hardiest bandit.